Hi Flosstubers, my name is Vicky. This is my first video. I've been watching Flosstube for a little bit over a month, and I've been hearing about it for a little bit over a year. And I started dabbling, watching here and there, and last month I did a few marathons for a few Flosstubers and started getting into it and figured I'd try my own. You never really realize how much work goes into going into a video until you look and see that you know nothing about filming. You have no idea what you're going to say, or maybe too many ideas of what to say, and try to keep it short. So bear with me. I have a lot of stuff going on all the time, and I have a crafting ADD. I do a little bit of everything. I do cross stitch, crochet, polymer clay, beading, sewing, everything so far. Although I've been watching some of the other Flosstubers that quilt, and I've always wanted to, so it's definitely on the agenda. I'm going to start with my influences from Flosstube. I think there's about 4 major ones that I think I might have watched almost every one of their Flosstubes. Almost feel like a stalker on some of them. Farm Girl, I started watching Farm Girl. I think I've watched all of those except for the one she deleted. Pretty Southern, I've watched almost all of hers. Vonna the Twisted Stitcher, I got a lot of ideas for finishing from her. Great tutorials. It's actually given me inspiration, and I have a whole bunch of finishes that need the FFOs. We can go through those another time. Plus, back here, there's a bag back there hanging up. I put the larger pieces, I iron them, and then I put them on pants hangers by the clippies, cover them up with a bag to keep them clean until I finally do whatever I'm going to do with them. I've done my own framing and stuff like that. Ivana, The Real Housewives of Cross Stitch, I've been watching them. I haven't watched every one of those, but I've watched most of them. And I've been watching Stitcherista lately, and she is hysterical. Love watching her. I wanted to give Vonna a shout out because she's really gotten me to go through all my works in progress to see what I can do. I also learned how to do a stand-up as a finish. I mean, I knew sort of how to do it just by looking at it, but she gave some really good tips and tricks. So if you haven't watched that one, watch that one on how to make it look really, really nice. I want to enter the fair since she had her whole fair thing and she finally won Grand Champion. I want to enter the fair. I just don't know what I would enter into the fair. And it's got to be in by March 2nd, which it's, what, the 11th right now of February. So I don't know if I'll be able to do that. But it's a goal. Why not? See what other people think about my stitching. I'm my own worst critic. I can find a million things wrong with stuff, and other people either don't want to say anything or they really don't see it. I don't know. There were a couple of notes that I wrote down here. Farm Girl, she has gotten, I have Coffee Quaker to do, and I think that's by Heartstring Samplery. I'm not, yeah. And I had the second one, and I got the third one. And I wasn't really crazy about the first one, so I figured, well, I'm just not going to do it. But since I've seen hers, I think I want to do it now. And I also do punch needle. Needle punch needle. Same def. I just don't do the rug hooking. I haven't tried that yet. And the applique, I do a little bit of that. I'm not a pro at that. I'm still working on that. And I finally went through all my works in progress. I sort of had a system anyway. I knew what I had, but I didn't have any progress pictures or anything like that, so I think Farm Girl was talking about it, and I said, you know what, I'm going to take pictures and put them up there. And I put up all my pictures up on Stitch Mania, all the works in progress, and then I went and joined, after watching, that's another one that I've been watching, the Stash Queen. Yeah, after watching her and all her stuff, I said, let me put up my works in progress. Let me start being a little bit more accountable for my works in progress. And I joined some of the sales that they have going on. I went through, I'm going to do the foodie one for February because I have some stuff to do. I think I'm doing Lemons, Limes, and More by Vermilion, one of the pillows from Just Cross Stitch. I'm also doing Beans, that's from Plum Street. I had started that one, so those are 2 food things. And then there's the full coverage on the 5th. I started a Hade. It is Blue Flame, and she's really pretty and really aggravating. And I don't know if it's me or it's just gets a little overwhelming, so I tend to do some and then I just put it away because I don't know what stitch to put in next. And I put it on, I think I put it on 25 count, 2 over 1, and I know I probably should have went 1 over 1, but when I tested it, I didn't like the coverage. I wanted it to really be covered, so it makes it hard to find that hole in between all those other stitches that I need to do. I don't know if that makes any sense. Anyway, it's slow going, but I do have progress pictures up on Stitch Mania in a album. I also joined a lot of the Olympic days, not all of them, because I just didn't have, I'm trying not to start new things. I'm trying to finish up some of the stuff that I have going on first, or something. If it's a new start, it's something that I really wanted to start anyway, or it's something I had to sort of start. I've been stitching stuff for Primitive Acorns. There's a monthly one that I've been doing, and then she asked me to do another one, and so I'm doing Farm Love by her. And matter of fact, I have that right here. It's this one right here. I don't know how well you can see that. And that's the guy. He's got some really big pants on, and she's even bigger, so that's kind of nice though, because I'm not small either. I started one new start called Let's Do Coffee. Big coffee fan. And that one's by Ursula Michaels. I started that for the start of the Olympics, and then there's a whole bunch of others that I sort of worked in from what my works in progress were. So I was pretty impressed that I only found one that I had to start new. I do have my whips here. There's like 27 of them. I don't think I'm going to show all of them, but I have Midsummer Night Fairy. She's here. And it's on the called for fabric. It's a linen. And the Krynic has been giving me fits. So I do a little bit, and then I do regular stitches, and I do a little bit, and I do regular stitches. Started her so long ago, and then I put it away for, I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe because it just wasn't getting done. I get a little anxious. Then I just worked on Ice Angel, and that has Krynic, plus it has, well, I used rayon for it, and it's driving me crazy. So I did that yesterday for the winter theme on the Olympic sale. And let's see, that's this one. I'm not crazy about the stitching that I did before. I think I'm a little bit better now. Again, I started this one years ago. But this is her butt. This is all angel butt. And some of the stitching's kind of lumpy. So I think I'm just going to finish it because I did that much already, and I know it drove me crazy, so I'm not going to rip it out, and I'm not just going to start over again. I think I can get away with just finishing it, and I probably won't notice it after it's all done. I've been using beeswax on that. It keeps it a little bit more tame. and I finally got smart enough to pull out a needle threader. I have a ton of different kinds of bags. I used to use makeup bags. I'd get them from either the thrift store or whatever store I was in, because they have a lot of compartments. This one, my friend Connie made for me, and it says coffee and embroidery in there, and then I made the little zipper pull. See that? But she made me this one, and I put my newly started Let's Do Coffee on there. This fabric is from Vicki Clayton. I don't know if you guys remember Vicki Clayton. She was dyeing fabric and silks. I think she's only dyeing yarn now, but I used to live in Pennsylvania, and when I was living out in Harrisburg, me and my best friend had gone up to visit her a few times because she was near Tremont, and we got to go visit her at her warehouse, so we got to go through all this stuff and buy it directly from her. It was really fun, and her and her husband are great. I'm doing a couple of stitch alongs. It sort of helps motivate me to get stuff done when I see other people doing it. This one is Olivia Oakerleaf. It's by Silver Creek. This one I started through a group that I'm in called The Whole Stitch and Caboodle. You can go ahead and look it up on Facebook. Jen is great. She sells a lot of, she sells right from the website, and she does do live videos. She hasn't done one in the past few weeks, but I know she's going to be doing them again soon, and she'll sell from there, and it's just a great group of people. Anyway, we started a stitch along for this one, and that's about as far as I got on that one. Matter of fact, they have a stitch along group too. It's The Whole Stitch and Caboodle SAL. And Jen was showing a lot of the Silver Creek, and this is, I made a working copy of this one. The original is actually put in the file cabinet behind me, but I started this one. It's called Stitching Feeds My Heart, and I forget what I put it on. I didn't write it down. It's an even weave though, and I think it's on 28 count if I'm not mistaken. Another kind of project bag. This is from Sheets, Buying Sheets. Love those. This one's from a magazine, so again, I'm working from a working copy of a magazine. I'm not going to shove the whole magazine in with the stuff. And this one's called At the Break of Day. It's from a New Stitches magazine, and it's actually a rooster, and I think this is, what is it with butts? This is the butt of the rooster. So that's 2 butts I'm stitching. Let's see. Here's a couple of pull bags. These ones are from a place called BlueQ.com, and let's see if I can bring in, there's the tag. They use recycled stuff. It's 95% recycled material. This one, they said they actually had a hard time getting it into the States, I guess. Getting it through customs because it looked really classified. And then this one, and I think they're about $10 a piece. I made scissor fobs for them because I do bead. I actually sell on Etsy and stuff, my scissor fobs and my needle minders and stuff. Try to see if I can't get that in there. Anyway, it's a little bee for the flowers. And this one is I Run with Scissors. It is Amy Brucken. She's a killer. I changed the colors. I wasn't crazy about the purple. I mean, I like purple, but I wasn't crazy about that one. There's 2 whips in here. I'm doing blue. Blue's my favorite color, so I'm doing blue, and I think I chose a cool pink and a teal color to do it in instead of her colors. But that's as far as I got on that one. That's a stitch along with the Whole Stitch and Caboodle. This one is a stitch along with the Pumpkin Seed Stitchers. It's a Halloween group that I belong to. And this one is Halloween Greetings. And that's a Plum Street. And that came from one of the Halloween magazines from Just Cross Stitch. And I can't remember which one right now. This one I haven't made a zipper pull for. I have an eagle charmed, and I'm going to make a red, white, and blue to go with my whole theme here. This one's got actually two different ones. Here's this one's 1776, American Eagle 1776 by Heartstring, and this needle minder is by Pinoy Stitch on Etsy. Here's that chart. And that one's for Star Spangled Stitchers group. That's a sale also. And then another kind of bag. Love these big giant Ziploc bags. This is a little bit extreme for what's in there right now, but I just sort of shoved it in there. Threadwork Primitives. Nana's a sweetheart, and I love her designs. And I think I bought all the Beggar series of hers, and this one's July 4th from her. And I'm doing this 1/2 to get that prim effect on it. And I'm using different threads though. I fell in love with Victoria Sampler threads. So I've been using some of hers. Here's some of the ones I'm using on that other eagle one. And I think what's it called? Victoria Motto Sampler Shop. And I think she just has a blog, and she might be on eBay also, but I buy it off of her blog. When I saw her her American series, I fell in love with it. Let's see. Did I write down? I don't know what fabric I'm using on that. I can't remember. I must have wrote it down somewhere. I think this fabric, if I'm not mistaken, is from Dames of the Needle. I want to say that's Dames of the Needle linen. Fix that later. Here's another bag that Connie made me. Look, it's all tape measures. And she even made the zipper pull. Oh, make you sick to your stomach. And it matches. How cute is that? So she made me two. And in here, oh, I have stuff I haven't even started in here. I want to start this one. I think that's so pretty. And then I got this a while ago. This is one of the Just Another Button Company packets, and of course it says hot cocoa, but we're gonna say that's coffee. I haven't started that one either. There are, I haven't started it. I have some little house kitted up. I must have about 80 things kitted up, and I'm in my craft room. If you look, that white basket right there, it's a hamper. I think I bought it at Ross for like 20 bucks years ago. And that's like half filled with all my kitted stuff. Oh, and those bins right there. Let me see. Those bins right there, that's all my DMC. Those drawers come out and the top pops up. And I have a divider in the center, and I put floss away bags. And I put all my floss in there because I don't like bobbing it. It drives me crazy. I used to. Trying to think of what else. I don't know what else to talk about right now, so I think I'm going to end it. If you have any questions for me, go ahead and ask. Again, like I said, I do the beading and stuff like that, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the links below for the blog, the Flosstubers that I had mentioned, and I'm going to try to remember everything I said and try to put links down below for reference. If you have any questions or if I left anything out, just let me know. And hopefully this goes well. Thanks.